Happy Wednesday! Hump day! Mike, 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 Mike. I know that joke is old, right? Okay. Um, I hope you guys had a great Tuesday. I I I enjoyed my last work from home day. Well, it is not my last. I work from home every Monday and Tuesday now. So, as you're seeing this, I'm in the office, in the hospital, working. Yay! Do I look thrilled? Yeah, I'm recording this ahead of time. Just remember, this is a smile. This is the smile I'm going to have on my face all day long. Anyway. So, where do we start? Oh, I have an unboxing. Oh my gosh. Well, let's do that, shall we? Alice is, girl, she's almost there. She's almost there. Filling in a little bit here in this section, and then I'm done. So, this is being recorded Tuesday evening. So hopefully by the time I go to bed tonight, maybe I'm a little bit more done. So I've got 2 boxes here from Lion Brand. I went a little crazy with Lion Brand. First of all, I love Lion Brand yarn, and I had a couple of really good coupons. So how could I resist, right? Let's open this first one. Yes. Jake's like, what's in the box, Mother? He's watching me. He's watching me because he's looking. He keeps looking at his little doggy watch because he's, keeping an eye out for, dinner time. Oh God, I shouldn't have said that out loud. Oh my. Okay. So one of my favorite yarns, or probably the favorite yarn that I have, is Ferris wheel. I love Ferris wheel yarn. I'm trying to think if I have any to show you. I have one one skein of it over there, but I ordered a couple of different colors of the Ferris wheel. So I got this color, which is called Cherry on Top. Look how beautiful. I got a couple of skeins of that. So gorgeous. And look, these are the same. These are the exact same skeins, just wound a little differently. But look at the colors in those. Very nice. Then we have this other brand of, this is Ferris wheel as well. This is some more greens. This is called Evergreen. I have a lot of people, subscribers, that love green, including my sister. So I want to make some green hats. And if you guys see a color that you're like, oh, I love that, I want a hat, let me know. Yeah, I think I've been charging like $20-ish for the hats, depending on how much I had to, how much the yarn cost me, So now this next yarn I bought for a specific purpose. I have a book that has a hooded shawl in it, and they used this brand of yarn, and most of the time I don't go with their recommended yarn. I just put whatever yarn I want with it. I make sure that the weight is the correct weight. But this one, they did the tweed, the Lion Brand tweed, and so the tweed stripes. So I ordered 4 skeins of this tweed stripes so that I can make this. These are all the same, cat's eye, because I want to make this hooded scarf. And it's a big one because it's, look at that. Is that the same one? Yeah, 4 of this cat's eye to make that scarf with. That's a lot of yarn. Was it a hooded scarf? Yeah, that seems like a lot of yarn for a hooded scarf, but it was. Anyway, that's what that's for. So, and then I think I ordered a couple more because the prices were just so good. This is called Sunset Night. Oh my God, it's amazing. The color is Santorini. Oh, look at this. Do you see the sparkles in it? Yeah. It's got sequins in it. Now, I don't know how that's going to be when I go to use it. It is a 4-weight. That's going to be gorgeous. I'm going to make a hooded scarf out of this as well. So the hooded scarves that I sell are a little bit more expensive than just the hats. So anyway, that's one box. Jake's like, what? More yarn, Mother? Last night I was up late in the night organizing my yarn because, you know, I'm getting those kittens soon and I don't want yarn all over the place. So as much as possible, I'm going to try to replace the yarn that's over here and put yarn that's in packages. You know, it'll still have yarn in it, but there'll be packages of yarn. Let me see if I can show you. I did put some up there last night. Do you see on the second shelf there? They're in their packages. So I think that'll be better for the kittens to have things in their packages. All right, let's see what's in this box. Now, I had already ordered, like the night before, I had ordered all this other stuff because I'm like, I've been wanting that tweed stripe so I could start that project. But then I got, the next day, someone, Cheryl, she sent me a really good coupon and she's like, you've got to check out this Santa sack. If I get the box open, I'll check it out. All right, let me just do it from down here. These Santa sacks have quite a bit of yarn in each one of them, and it's a mystery yarn. I don't know what you're getting. You know, you don't know what you're getting. They were originally $69.99 at Christmas time. They were marked down to $14.99. So I picked up 2. That's $30. And then I had this amazing coupon. I ended up paying $10 for each sack. So that's what's in here. My 2 Santa sacks. So here's one. This is what they look like. And they're in this really cute carrying case. So my plan for these carrying cases is to put in all of the hats that I've made so I can take them to my retreats and places that I can sell them. From the North Pole approved. How cute is that? And it does say Lion Brand established Elf 1870. Packed by Elf 1870. How funny is that? And it's got like the postal airmail. So let's find out what's inside. Should I do a do? Yeah, I should. I did. I did. I just love this. I'm so excited. It's like Christmas. What did I get? Oh my God, you guys. Wow. See, if I'd have known, I wouldn't have ordered more tweed stripe. I love this color too. Oh, look, man, it's the mandala tweed stripe. This is called Wishbone. Look how beautiful that is. Oh my God. 3 skeins of Wishbone tweed stripe. Then we've got 3 skeins of this. Oh, wow. This is called Twisted Cotton. It's a 5-weight, and it's navy and white. I don't know if you can see that. It's beautiful. That will make a gorgeous hooded scarf because there are 300 yards of it. That's perfect. That's perfect. And 9 skeins of yarn, guys. 9 skeins of yarn. Lion Brand yarn for $10. And look at this one. This one's called Boogie Nights. Oh my word. This is gorgeous. This is a 5-weight yarn. Look. Boogie Nights. Boogie, boogie, Boogie. Okay. Now I suspect they're both the same, both of the Santa sacks. But let's check it out. I just love the sacks. The sacks alone are $10. Were worth the $10 because I'm going to store yarn so the kittens can't get into it. Yes, so I now have 6 skeins of tweed stripe. I love this color, wishbone color. Yeah, that is a really pretty color, and yeah, it's the same. It's exactly the same. It's the Boogie Nights, and it is the twisted cotton, both 5-weight. I love a 5-weight yarn. I'm gonna loom knit something with this, or maybe put it in one of my giveaways. Still got to do the May giveaway. So, so I got 9 and 9 is 18 skeins of yarn for $20. 18 skeins of yarn. What? What? My mind is blown. Yeah. More yarn. You're like, what are you doing with all that? I collect yarn, especially when I can get 18 skeins. Beautiful yarn for $20. Holy moly. Okay. I'm so excited. Like, who wouldn't be excited about this color? It's so pretty. It's so soft. This is the same one that I made. Remember I voted, you guys voted, and you voted for the Mocha Java. It was this kind of yarn. It was this Ferris wheel yarn. And it's a 4-weight, but it's a very light 4-weight. So it produces a very summery type of a hat and with a beautiful feel to it. So I do love that. Oh my goodness. I gotta stop. Okay, stop with the yarn. Stop. Okay. Let's get out a color to diamond paint with. So I have my containers from yesterday. We're not going to have a drill spill, right? Right. Well, one jumped out of the container. Let's see if I can get them apart. So I'm thinking I might order a couple of more because I love the way they stack on top of each other. And you can like stack some more. Like I could order 2 more and they just stack on top of each other. How cool is that? All right, let me, I think I'm done with, I think I'm done with this color here. No, I'm not. Okay, so let's do this. Let's work on this color while we talk about what National Day it is. And this is a National Day back in, let me see what the year was. Back in, come on. Back in 2005, the United States Congress issued a concurrent resolution inviting the President of the United States to issue a proclamation calling upon the people of the United States to observe Cinco de Mayo with appropriate ceremonies and activities. So this is the day we celebrate the the Mexican heritage that's part of this great mixed culture that we have as a country. It really commemorates a battle in the French-American War back in 1861, the Battle of Puebla. There were 6,000 French troops pitted against 2,000 Mexican men. And guess who won? The Mexicans. Yeah. Now I don't know if they won the war. I'm not they said while the battle didn't win the war, the victory had great symbolism for Mexico during the Franco-American War and buoyed the army throughout the conflict. So each year, Mexico commemorates the day with celebrations across the country, though it is not a federal holiday. It is not a federal holiday. But the government has said, yes, please celebrate the Mexican heritage. Now, what I don't like to see is all of these poor people crossing the border, with their children. This boat crashed the other day because it was so full of people, these poor people are just trying to get out of there. They're trying to escape criminals and poverty, and they're trying to get into the U.S., after the departure of Donald Trump. And now they're just sitting in these camps, all these kids. It's heartbreaking. And it's hard to celebrate the Mexican heritage when we've got all these children sitting in these camps. I want to open my house and say, I have a spare bedroom. Why are you in this camp? These poor kids, and they're waiting to meet up with relatives and parents that are already here in this country. And it's just a sad state of affairs. But, so go out and, have some Mexican food tonight. Celebrate Mexican. I know Malia loves chipotle. Chipotle, is that Mexican? Chipotle? I think it is. Yeah. Listen, I cheated in history. I'm not gonna lie. I cheated. I had it was a professor, but everybody takes history in 11th grade. So I'm in 11th grade. The history teacher would issue the test, leave the book open, and then walk out of the room. So what do you think we did? We looked up all the answers. Yeah. Nobody cared. So did I study history? No. Do I wish I had? Yeah, I kind of do. It's sad that, I don't know my history that well. All right, we should talk about judge, jury, and jury. Yeah. Okay, day 1, part 2. So, and this is after lunch. The judge brings the jury back from lunch, and he says, okay, my people, I have a very long video. There's going to be a video. He says it's an hour and a half long, so we're going to try to get through the first hour of it, and then I'm going to give you guys a break, and then you can come back and watch the rest. And this video is the surveillance video, or not the surveillance, it is the police interview of Nicholas Godejohn, the defendant. Now, so they bring in the detective. It's a female detective. I don't think I caught her name. It's really not really relevant to the story. So she's nice, attractive woman. What she did was she went to Wisconsin to interview the defendant. This was on June 16th. So they find the body of Miss Blanchard on the 14th, and by the 16th, they've already figured out that Nicholas Godejohn and Gypsy Rose are involved in this murder. I'm not sure what led them to suspect it was the two of them. We know that it was the Facebook post that led them to find her body. But I don't know what led them to figure out it was Gypsy and her boyfriend, except that Gypsy was missing from this house. They go to this house thinking, there's this poor woman there that's probably been murdered, and her daughter's been raped, and her daughter's, this 16-year-old sick girl, and they don't find the girl there. She's not there. And I suspect it may have been the taxi drivers that sort of gave it away. But they figured that out very quickly. These police are good. So anyway, she has to drive to Wisconsin. She gets there late at night, and Gypsy Rose is in one room waiting to be interviewed, and Nicholas is in another, and they've been waiting for hours to be interviewed. And now, by the time these detectives get there to interview them, they've been sitting in these police interview rooms for, it's like midnight. And Nicholas very clearly says during his interview, I'm really tired. And she does, when she first starts, she's like, have you had something to eat? Have you had something to drink? Need to use the bathroom? She goes through all that. And he's really he's so docile. He's like, no, no, no. They fed me. I had a really nice ham sandwich, and um, you know. So he proceeds to tell her this story. She's like, what happened? And with Dixie's mother, and he says, I don't know. And so he said, so he tells this story, and we know that Gypsy is in the next room, and she's telling the exact same story. I heard her tell this same story. He tells the detective, Dixie got her mother kicked her out. Her mother just said, okay, I'm kicking you out. It's time you lived on your own. So he thinks, oh my God, he's got to go help his girlfriend. So he gets on a bus and he heads to Springfield, Missouri to help her. So he checks into the Days Inn and he's trying to find her, and he can't find her. He says, I looked for her for days, and they were like, well, how are you getting in touch with her? So he had a cell phone, but he would send her a message on Messenger, Yahoo Messenger, and then she would respond through her computer. She did not have a cell phone. So that's how he was communicating with her, and after a few days, she finally got in touch with him, and he was able to get her on a bus and get her home back to his, and that's the whole story. And so the police detectives, like, and he kept saying, I'm really worried about Gypsy. I'm really, really worried about her. And the detective's like, you must really love her. And he's like, I really do. I really, really love her. And she says, well, she must love you more than you love her, because she's in the next room telling us the truth. We already know what happened. She told us the whole story. And, if you really loved her, you would not want her to get in trouble by telling us the truth and then taking the fall for her mother's murder, and you not telling us the truth. And I felt so bad for this guy, because he's just like, you can't really see his face. He's kind of sitting at an angle to the camera. But, I guess he ponders it for a few minutes, and then he decides, well, honestly, yeah, I stabbed her mother. I'm like, oh, okay. And he uses that phrase several times. Honestly, this is what happened. Honestly, yeah. So we know now he's being honest, because he really loves this girl. He said, I worship her. I worship her. There isn't anything I wouldn't do for her. And so the detective's like, well, why did you do that? And he says, well, honestly, because Gypsy asked me to. Which right there makes me question his mental capacity. So, and he goes on to explain that, it's something that they talked about over time, and that there were other ways that they tried to get his mother to like him. But he says, I found her to be a quite pleasant woman, but, she didn't like me. And we felt like this was the only way we were ever going to be able to be together, is for me to kill her mother. So the detective's like, well, why did you decide to use a knife? Why didn't you use like poison or a gun? And he said, well, we thought this would be quicker. I'm like, oh God, really? I don't know how that is, but that's what they thought, that it would be quicker. Oh, yeah. And he goes on to describe the entire thing. He thinks he stabbed her 4 times. And the detective's like, are you sure it was only 4 times? He goes, well, that's when those are the times when I really knew I hit major organs. I didn't really count the other times. And then he says, I did kind of slash the back of her neck. And I'm thinking, I can't even believe we're discussing this. I can't even believe I'm listening to this. I'm like, this is so creeping me out. Then at one point he says that he didn't do it. One of his other personalities did it. So then he starts explaining that, there's like a devil in him and an angel in him, and he's got multiple personalities. And this was the devil personality. And sometimes he hears voices, but he hasn't heard voices in years, and those voices would always tell him what to do. And yeah, I don't know. So I'm guessing that in the moment while he was committing this murder, his mind went to another, took on a different persona, and which I can honestly believe would happen. How else would you handle what the heck you're doing there? I don't know. So, they both attempt, they had planned that I don't know why I keep saying Gypsy would hide in the bathroom during the murder. And then when it was all over, and while she was in there, she was going to shave her legs and her personal area because she knew that he liked that. This whole encounter is super weird. So she's locked herself in the bathroom. So he commits the murder, and then he comes back and they devise this secret code, like 2 knocks and a whistle, or I don't know, some secret code. He gives the secret code and she opens up and, comes out of the bathroom. So then they go in her room. No, first they decide they're going to clean up. So they decide they're going to try to clean up the mess, and he describes that. And then he said they went into her room and had sex. And after that, they, he said Gypsy had already arranged ahead of time this envelope. So we put the weapon and the gloves into this envelope, and I need my tweezers, and we were going to mail it from the post office before they took off on the bus. So he calls a cab on his cell phone, and the cab comes out and picks them up and takes them back to their hotel, and where they had sex again, and they ordered dinner, I don't know this. But they did leave town on the Greyhound and go back to his home in Missouri. So that's like the end of this interview. Oh, he does say during this interview, she asked him, did her mom call out? And she said, well, yeah, she called for help. She said, she screamed help, and then she said, who are you? And then she called Gypsy, come help me. Yeah. He said they took the money that was in the bank bag. There was, he said thousands. He didn't know exactly how much, I guess. Thousands. And then they left. So one of the things that came out during this, the questioning of the detective was that, he was able to maintain eye contact with her during this entire interview, which I suspect that someone on the autism spectrum may not be able to do, but she said that he did. She admitted she had no training in how to interview someone who was on the autism spectrum. She did not know he was on the autism spectrum, had no idea, in fact, did not talk to the defendant's mother until after he was interviewed. And she does admit that she lied to him about Gypsy having told the truth. She has no idea if Gypsy told the truth. She wasn't the one interviewing Gypsy, but you are allowed to lie during a police interview. The police do not have to be truthful about how they get the truth out of you if you commit a murder. um, he did say during the interview that Gypsy felt trapped in her wheelchair and he wanted to help her, and that her mother was making her pretend to be a 16-year-old. Gypsy was 23 at this point in time in her life. She didn't even know it. She didn't know she was 23. It's crazy. So meanwhile, yeah, Gypsy is sitting in this other room because they on the internet there is the footage. It's not part of this case, but I was able to find the footage of her interview, and they put her in this room with a this fish pillow and a blanket, and she falls asleep. But she's playing with the fish, and she's very much toddlerish, and she talks toddlerish. She talks in this baby kind of voice, but she comes off as nothing other than sickly sweet, just the sweetest thing you'd ever, they bring her a sandwich and a drink, and she's like, "Oh, this looks lovely, thank you," in her little squeaky little voice. So, and then I also listened to a reporter who was in the courtroom during this during day one of this testimony. And this reporter was saying that, interestingly, the defendant has a brother that is in the courtroom who, she said, looks just like him. They could be twins. But there are no family members of this victim, none. And she said that the family members just believe that Miss Blanchard was just an evil person. They are not supporting her. It's terrible. It's hard to feel sorry for a woman who was doing this to her daughter. Yeah, it's terrible. So yeah, no family members of the victim in the courtroom. No. So then they put on this other detective. The day's not over yet. They put on another detective who does cybercrime detection. But so he wanted to get the Facebook records. This I found very interesting. Nothing is safe. We now know our Fitbits, our heart, our monitors, they're not safe. They can get those records. They can get your cell phone records. They know wherever you go. Now they can get your Facebook stuff. So apparently Facebook has a portal for police agencies. So the police departments can go to this Facebook portal, put in upload their warrants. And in this case, they had a warrant for the Facebook records. They can upload their warrant, and then Facebook will get back to you. So Facebook will notify you when the records you are requesting, if they exist, are available for viewing and downloading. So the detective goes to this portal, uploads his search warrant. He wants the records of Dee Dee Blanchard's Facebook post, her Facebook account, any accounts associated with Nicholas Godejohn, any accounts associated with Gypsy Rose Blanchard. So Facebook comes back and says some of these accounts have been deleted. So if you delete your account, they are deleted forever. They're not maintained by Facebook. So if you're going to commit a murder, delete your account before you're caught. Nobody can get it. I'm just saying. Apparently they don't keep anything. So anything that's deleted, the account's deleted, they can't recover it. Sorry. I've been coming down with a cold. I just thought that was so interesting. So he was able to get the accounts for Dee Dee Blanchard. The account for Dee Dee Blanchard is the one that was where the Facebook was posted, where that post was that alerted the neighbors and friends that she might have been murdered. Because Gypsy went on to her mother's Facebook page and posted this. But they also were able to find an account for Nicholas and an account for Gypsy. And then when those accounts were available for viewing, the detective was able to download those as a PDF. And those were entered into evidence, but not published so that we can see them. Or at least, maybe I didn't get to that part yet. I don't know. Maybe that's on day 2. I don't know, but we shall see on day 2 where this trial takes us, because it's so interesting. And yes, I know that this was a television show. It was called The Act. It was on Hulu. I did watch that. Oh yeah, I was glued, because it's one of those, I call it a train wreck story. It's like so awful that you can't stop watching it. You're like, what? What? And I will tell you, it's called The Act. It's very well, I forget the main actress that parts. It's just a very well done story, a very accurate story. They're not really covering the same information that I'm covering. Because I'm covering the trial, but it will, if you want to watch it, it does give you a background of what this mother was doing to her daughter prior to her murder, which I don't think anyone could accurately describe in a 30-minute podcast in the mornings. So check that out. Anyway, so we could talk about this day in history, since we're getting short on time here. Okay. This is the day that we put our first astronaut into space. It was Alan Shepard. Now, we were in this huge space war. This was in 1961. I was 1 year old. Ooh, yes, that tells you how old I am. I was 1 year old at the time. There was television. Yes, television had been invented. Unfortunately, in April of that same year, just a few weeks prior to this, Russia had put a man into space. He orbited the Earth one time and then came back. So we put Alan Shepard into space. He comes back. So we weren't the first, in the great space race to get to outer space. Alan Shepard was the first American to get to outer space, but not the first person. That honor goes to Yuri Gagarin. Yuri Gagarin. So almost like a month before, April 12th of that same year. So, and then we know that Alan Shepard did return to space. He was like the 4th or 5th man to walk on the moon. The fifth astronaut to walk on the moon. How cool is that? So I'm going to keep on. I'm so excited about this yarn. Anyway, I love you all. Have a great Wednesday. Don't forget, tonight is Craft with Me Wednesday, 6 p.m. I don't remember what I'm doing. It's probably crochet. Yeah. Or loom. Either crochet or loom knitting. One or the other. I'll be doing that tonight at 6 p.m. Central. I may have a special guest. I may not. We shall see. So I will see you then. If not, I will see you tomorrow, Thursday, in the morning show. Bye, everybody. Love you.